Yep. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the May 31st, 2022 meeting of the Berlin Ethics Commission, and we'll call it to order. Could you each introduce yourselves for the record?
Thomas Schultes, 103 Washington Street.
Brian Robertson, 103 Broad Street.
103, it's nice, I know that, aren't you?
Thank you. Now, I'm going to give a very brief overview of what you're tasked to do on this commission. And I'll first ask if you guys had an opportunity to read this.
Is that the
Was
PDF
sent
that
to
was
you?
sent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read through it. It's a lot of
This
legalese.
is put out by the State Ethics Commission, and that's where we got it. But our ordinance is modeled on the state law, so we're looking for the same things. And mainly what we're concerned with, so far as ethics go, is financial transparency of elected officials, employees, and board and commission members here in town. And that is why certain of those members are required to file financial disclosure forms that you'll be reviewing momentarily. But essentially, the Ethics Commission, both state and our town, boils down to this. It's looking for conflicts of interest, and essentially an elected official, a board member, cannot participate in a discussion or a decision for anything that would financially enhance their pocketbook. They can't participate in anything that a family member is involved in. And that also goes to businesses. A member would have to, a council member would have to recuse themselves if their decision involved either a business or a family member who would be benefited by that decision financially.
Does that go for any votes as well? If there's a ordinance coming up and the council member has interest in it, recuse himself from that?
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing we're looking for, of course, it goes back to, I guess, the smoke-filled rooms. You're not allowed to solicit or accept gifts from people. And that's really about it. Now, we do have a procedure if in fact someone actually does file a complaint, and I drafted this memorandum back in 2009, but it still holds true. All complaints, if someone wants to file a complaint alleging a violation of our ethics ordinance, it's got to be in writing, and it has to be signed by the complainant. We don't take anonymous complaints from people. They will be filed with the town administrator, and at that point, it'll come to me, to every member of our commission, and we will make an initial determination that we have jurisdiction over the complaint. And if so, we'll schedule a hearing. And at that hearing, the complainant will have to be there, give their testimony under oath, and they can bring any witnesses that they want. And of course, the subject of the complaint can also has due process rights, a right to an attorney, a right to call their own witnesses. And then the board makes a decision as to whether our ordinance has been violated, and the burden of proof is by a preponderance of the evidence, which is the burden of proof in any civil case that would be filed in court. So that's the procedure if and when we get to that point.
The handbook that we received, is that, you said we have state common law or Commonwealth law, that is our rules as well, that book?
No, that was just an example.
Okay, I
for
got
you to try to get a grip on.
I don't know if that was law or not. That
No, well,
okay.
Instead of me sitting down for 24 hours and drafting one, I just purloined the one from the state.
I got you. Got you.
But that's all I have.
All right. You have any questions?
No.
I don't need. Let's proceed.
Okay, I don't really have anything to add to what Dave just said, except of course to emphasize, as he said, the town's ethics code and rules are almost verbatim what the state's are. And that is how the state required us to do it, to essentially adopt the ordinance that they provided.
And in fact, the the State Ethics Commission drafted our ordinance, and the legislature passed a law which required us to adopt it. So,
Right. So the first thing that I'm going to pass down to you are the board and commission submissions. And all that they are required to submit are gift disclosures, basically indicating if they received any gifts and if those gifts would impact their ability to make decisions in whatever their area, their board or commission oversees.
Did anyone say yes?
I don't believe so.
They didn't
Yeah,
come through.
but I mean,
If
you know,
anyone said they did, then it's worth looking at, but I'm assuming these are all
I'm sorry,
no's, that's why
Kelsey,
they got this
did
on
you
their
say that
answers,
you
right?
have them initial the top of each of these forms as well?
Oh, and initial all these forms?
Yeah,
Okay.
just, yeah.
So you had asked a question about whether or not anyone indicated yes. It is not, we're not the ones that are supposed to review them.
Oh, okay.
You guys are, so you guys are the initial reviewers. Obviously, when people turn them in, sometimes I'll notice something weird and I might ask a question about it, but you guys are the ones to do the review. So once you've reviewed, go ahead and initial at the very top, and then we know that you both have had a chance to review
Are
all of
they
them.
in a particular order?
They're not. This is just all of our boards and
Yeah.
commissions. So
They require both their signatures or just one?
just initial at the
Just
top.
one or both?
Both of you.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you look
So-
through half, give them to
Gotcha.
him, and yep, and vice versa.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yep. Yep. And we have had instances in the past where we've noticed something weird, and we've had to follow up with that particular person to get clarification on something, and it's never turned out to be anything, just a mistake on not checking something or.
Oh, these are kind of Mrs. Mike Wiley, who's.
Leave along.
What's that?
Agree. We initial their own.
I didn't even see yours come through.
I got it.
Did Dean file to run again?
He has not filed
Yeah. What is the deadline for that?
September, or like the first Friday of September.
And that's another thing, you guys will review the applicants that we've received thus far, but if anyone does file between now and that deadline, we'll reconvene probably closer to that September 15th, just so we don't have to bring them in multiple times. But
Yeah,
This one-
to that.
This one doesn't have anything marked on it.
Yeah, it does, he actually did.
Oh, he did it
Yeah, he did a
online?
computer one. I thought the same thing.
Okay.
That's the
yes,
town
I
attorney.
believe I know who you're talking about, because I
Yeah.
had a hard time
Yeah, yeah.
finding it too.
It's in the
I was
header.
like, you didn't even complete it.
I think he knows what he's doing. I didn't notice this. So are all these, should we cross out the 2022?
What's that?
They say 2020 on these.
The initial version that was sent did, sorry, I should have indicated that, on these short forms was the 2020 version. Once I realized it, I did go ahead and send it with 2021, and
this
some
was-
people turned in the 2021, some people turned in the 2020, some
Okay,
people scratched it.
Carol turned in
but-
2022 somehow.
Yeah, it's sort of like your taxes, you're
Yeah.
looking at the prior years.
Yeah. So, yeah, some of them.
Yeah. This year hasn't ended yet, so she claimed for the whole year already.
She's ahead of me. Yeah, I tried to catch everybody, but you had already submitted it.
I don't think it's a loophole of any sort, so
No.
let's try to get.
If they had something weird, we might.
Right?
Yes.
I can take that folder, make sure they're all initialed.
Thank you. Next pile is the town department heads, and they also are only required to fill out the gift disclosure.
Is this still need to be done?
Yes,
Okay.
because it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few in the boards and commissions as well that no longer serve, but they did serve in
Okay.
capacity at that point, so we had them complete them.
It's just the board heads.
Maybe those
These-
two.
They're just the board heads. That's all.
department heads,
Department
right, right, up you still need Ryan's.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just stuck it.
Trying to
Oh, I
make
got the
sure.
wrong one.
Almost.
For the boss, I'll drink another one. It's not lit, he says, "Look, hey, you're knocking over, to ruin all the equipment."
Okay, and then the last group, these are the big ones. And by big, I just mean it's a hefty form. I'm sorry, Kelsey, did this one belong in here?
No, those two are the ones that have filed for candidacy for.
Ah, okay,
So I just had them
okay.
as a separate.
These are the mayor and council's financial disclosures, obviously a much more hefty packet.
Okay.
There's a lot of information that they need to review and compile if necessary.
So is there any of these numbers, letters I should be concerned with? If they check yes, and is there anything that would stand out that would affect?
so.
All right, yeah. It's tough to even say what I would find wrong with it, because I don't know what's, besides accepting gifts, is there anything that would be? Officer schedule, interest. What would be something you would look for in a scenario like this that would? No.
The only thing I can think of is if there's something not there that you know.
Right,
Why didn't they-
right,
not to be
exactly.
And for that to
So like-
happen.
So like, this is Troy's, and he has, a member of my immediate family was employed by the town of Berlin during the reporting period. No. Wouldn't that be, shouldn't that be, yes, it's Austin. still-
He's not an employee.
Not an employee,
Got
okay.
it.
He's on a commission, that's different, okay.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
What if some weren't answered? Like, did you transfer any interest during the reporting period? There's no interest. Did they have to answer all these questions, or they just allowed to answer what one they want to?
Well, I would assume if they didn't answer it, that it didn't apply.
Okay.
Yeah. Although if it's a yes and no,
Yeah, it's
then I
equal.
would say they should,
There's a lot of them in this one. I mean, there's probably,
unless there's something at the start of the section that,
are there any,
language that indicates they don't have to respond for some
are
reason.
there any legal conditions, encumbrance, that imply your interest in entire, no? I mean, they are yes, no answers, they just didn't answer yet.
Mhm. What do you think?
They should answer.
Okay, well, we can flag individual
Yeah.
ones, have them come in and review it again, and we'll bring it back to you when we meet because you will meet
Yeah.
again before the election at a minimum, so. Do you have some flags, Kelsey? Maybe we could just throw a flag on this chair, the legs on this chair. Don't
Like
mind
one on
moving.
that one.
Okay.
Can
That way we
I
can just stick a flag on it so we're
Yeah.
sure which one is.
I just see which question you're?
It's all, I mean, it's not anything you think, but there's a lot of yes, no questions, like,
I know that, oh, well, that says yes, okay, I'm sorry, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I know some of them
yes,
say
no, like,
if
did you require,
no.
it should be probably as a no, but
Right.
Yes.
by not answering it, it's like, it
Right.
leaves it open, they should probably fill it out.
Yeah,
We can
absolutely.
finish it, so.
Um,
I'll just leave this one out, he can look over
I
the
know
list,
it-
but I'll let this one set, he didn't answer all the questions, so.
I know in past meetings, we have gone ahead and just said the name of the individual on the record, that way
Oh,
we can.
it was
fine,
Jay.
yeah.
Okay.
He-
Jay.
Councilmember.
Not that I'm saying there's a reason to flag it, it's on the answer,
Right,
so
right.
Right, no, it's.
if I turned in
it's-
my,
I just, for taking minute purposes.
I turned in
I'd
my
like
taxes
to
and the
know-
questions aren't answered, they get flagged, they come back to me too.
I'd like to note in the minutes,
Yeah.
who we need to come back to, so, thank you.
Troy has some unanswered, but he has C attached, and he's got,
So Dean did his electronically, it looks like, I guess. These are, the X's, he's answered, he's done these online somehow.
Looks like it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always send it to.
Yeah, they're
them
sent as
electronically.
PDFs.
Yeah, gotcha, it's fine.
Easy enough to make it into a fillable form.
As long as they're signed.
I do
Yeah.
it myself, when people send me PDFs,
Yeah.
make it into a form and.
That's fine, I did, so
Yeah.
it'll pop up there, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, yes, there. So if we're gonna flag it, Dean had one he left unanswered, this not if yes, it was question 6, did you transfer any of your interest during the reporting period? So let's go to screen schedule D. All right, no, never
Yeah,
mind,
some
that's
of
good,
them
good,
may
yeah.
relate to
Yeah,
a
we're good.
prior
That's-
question.
It's fine, yep,
so-
that's perfect,
Okay.
that was complete, he's complete. Okay. So are these forms open to anybody? Would you like to be notified if someone looks at my form? And he scheduled yes, but could public come in and walk in
Yes,
next to
the
the same time?
public-
Okay.
Yes,
So-
they're
It'd
subject
be like,
to.
yeah.
I just, I didn't, I just wondered who they, wonder if we're looking at it, it's like, there's somebody that must be available to somebody else and they want to know. It pops up. And these are all just for 2021, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Zach, or whoever they've been looking through, any stock they own that disclose on here?
If that's what it asks.
It would just say, do you have any interest in corporation or partnerships, like nowinc.com? I don't know what that is. But it says he has stock in it. Well, like, it didn't seem like the rest of the people had, maybe he's just disclosing more information, but I don't. Okay.
Some people will probably err on the side of caution
Yeah.
and just list stuff just in case.
If you're in mutual funds, you'd have stocks you don't even know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
your ownership of those stocks would have no influence.
No,
one way
yeah,
or
I just
the
was,
other.
you know, and most of the things like Chesapeake Utility, I get those, I was just wondering what is
Sure.
Now
Sure.
Inc.com, D now, I have no idea what that is.
This seems to have someone else's paperwork attached to it. This is applicant Paul Miller, electric line worker, class 2,
Oh my
job
gosh,
interview
sorry.
stuff.
Did something get stuck in the folder?
We're gonna flag that.
I'm so sorry. Let me just pull this out from I must have stapled it incorrectly. Well, at least it's not filled out, but this was a job interview applicant, but it's not completed because I must have printed a different version when I couldn't find this one. So, there you go.
I would say that Troy's is incomplete. For his, did you have any interest in corporations, partnerships, limited liability? He has a list of the corporations that he has ownership of. But he doesn't have a separate Schedule B for each one of them, which is what it says it requires, right? Separate Schedule B will be required for each interest
Kelsey.
you need to disclose.
And I think that's what he, I'm
So
gonna
he
see
just
on
has-
Zach there with the, everything he has listed out as shares, amount he has and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, he has a list and he has his percentage, but none of the other stuff is answered as far as like, does it trade on stock exchange? Which I don't think it does, so I don't think it matters. Do you hold interest in your name alone, or is it held jointly? I think you just answered those because it doesn't apply.
So I have a note for council members. Councilmember Nurs had some yes or no's not answered. And then I had Councilmember Purnell, incomplete list corps, but no Schedule B for each one. And then anyone else so far? Have I missed anything else? so far?
Schedule H says employment and business ownership. Do you or any member of your immediate family receive any earned income from any other entity other than the town? Doesn't Zach get paid by the state, by Salisbury State? You check no here.
What is the question?
During reporting period, did you or any other member of your immediate family receive any earned income from any other entity other than the town? So he's saying he's received no other income but his town check?
Well, yeah, I mean, we know it works.
Yeah.
So why do you say no then?
Yeah, I'll make.
Well, in some cases, it could simply be a misunderstanding of the question. He may have, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
speculate on why, but yeah.
I mean, it's pretty, I mean, I'm not the best at interpreting stuff, but that's pretty clear cut to me. So besides that, I mean, you're speaking. Yeah, that's, says no, go to Schedule 1, but he definitely received other income.
Yeah, I've added that.
It's like, it's very thorough, except for that one last one. Adults, we don't initiate on, so.
Right, set
Okay.
that one aside as
Which one
well.
you want?
I think that pile.
Which one have you
I
initialed
think
so far?
that's,
Close, yeah,
I think
closer
that's
to
changed.
David.
But he's not signed off on this one either, he's not, those are both flagged.
Right, those are both.
So this one I was okay with Jack,
Okay.
and Dean's. So these ones I'm good with.
Yeah, I think Troy just needs Schedule B for each one of his things. And it
Right.
might
What else
be,
are they
it might be
doing?
that it's not applicable, but I don't know.
Yeah, it
if
needs to be
doesn't answer the
indicated.
thing.
So you got one more there.
What, that's, you look at this one yet?
No. I-
Okay, these ones I look, they're good. I'm good with these two, but those ones are all
Well, here, why
flagged.
don't you look at this
Oh,
one?
yeah, there you
I'll
go.
look at this one.
Thank you.
Just initial that one.
He didn't check it yet. He didn't
Oh,
check it
oh,
yet,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I misunderstood, okay.
No, this is for. Is it someone that filed?
No, it's Councilmember Nichols.
Oh, I'm looking, okay, I'm looking at the back. I was reading it backwards, looking at the last, I'm like, who's, I'm like, that does not look familiar to me.
Yeah, most every form has last
Yeah, I
name
know.
first, and it does throw you off when it's first name.
I'm listed in her interest in town, there's companies listed, I mean, I can understand what early childhood learning center is. There's like Elite Exteriors LLC and, is that even written out what that is, or do we?
I know her husband does operate a construction
Okay.
type business, so
Okay.
maybe that's what it
That makes
is.
sense.
Probably,
Okay,
not
that
sure
makes
what
sense.
that is.
All right, that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
I don't know the name of it.
Okay, I'm good with it.
Yeah, and you have to realize that answering any of the questions really in the affirmative isn't an indication of any issue.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
a disclosure.
Yeah, this, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. This one's good, right? We're good with Dean. So maybe I'm reading this wrong, because she answered no as well to, did you or make any other money from other than town? Schedule H, am I reading Schedule H wrong maybe?
I've not seen that,
So
so.
Schedule H, the way I read it is that the only, that means the only income they have is what they get from their council check, right?
That's kind of how I read it. But, is it Troy or no, too, like it's, he owns businesses, but I don't know necessarily get those businesses, right? It's like-
We can't, yeah, we can, but yes, yeah, I'm assuming his W-2 would be,
I'm reading it the way you got it.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
so, and that one's gonna get the read too,
Yeah,
so.
this was one.
Yeah, so that's gonna have to, yeah,
Well, actually, then
okay,
yeah, we'll start these. This is the candidates
Okay.
who filed. Now, their filing date is for the current calendar year up to the date that they filed.
I didn't know, I just learned today, and this day is old, that Steve Green's first name was James, he's my neighbor for 10 years, 10 years, I thought it was Steve.
That one was
Jack,
good?
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the applicants?
Yes,
So
yes.
that would've been- I think we
These are the,
agreed, no, they're gonna read.
Thanks, sorry.
Oh,
I'm trying to
okay.
read.
no, it's okay.
This is this year's, that we had to. So Steve did the same thing. Steve's gonna come back and he didn't answer Schedule C, D, E, or F. He did answer yes to Schedule H. Put his wife under there, well, that she had made money, but it doesn't disclose that he made money from somewhere else, which, you know, he had to have.
Yeah.
So,
Trying to
Yeah.
figure out how, that didn't seem like a trick question.
Yeah,
I know,
Doesn't.
that they interpret it differently.
yeah, well,
than
he
what
did, I mean,
we're
some of these,
reading.
it may not apply to him, but he didn't click, you know, since we can't be one and not the other, but you
Yeah,
know, is there a family, I'm positive no one else in Steve's family is employed by the town of Berlin, but he's got to answer this question. I can't mark his
right,
thing
of
for him.
course. Oh, no, that's an obvious.
Yeah.
It's the income question
Yeah.
that,
It just seems like, you know, because he went past them and then he did put this on here, but he disclosed pay him, but not himself.
right.
yeah, and those should be listed so that, I guess, if you were then only soliciting business to someone else that you're earning income from, you know,
Yeah.
it should be
Yeah.
indicated what those.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily saying that a problem if they use that business, as long as they already had an opportunity to bid on it, but you gotta disclose that's, those are your other sources of income.
Yeah.
If they ask the question, if they didn't ask it, then we couldn't ask for information. We
Tony's missing from Schedule C to Schedule H.
Well, this, those are all your flags. And I'm gonna put Tony in that pile too, I need to look at it. He's missing the schedules, I'd say, don't come back in and read the whole thing.
Right.
He really just needs to check no on some of these. If
Yeah,
he's
that's,
gonna check,
that's
he
a couple of
needs
them
to
too,
check
but you're filing for position to look over certain things and you skip half of your stuff, it doesn't,
no. He just needs to fill out. He can check no. Whatever.
wait till he finishes it.
Well, looks like we have a redo coming up.
Yeah, I'd say so. And, yeah, trying to think about timing, probably don't want to wait.
Do we have to have a meet, do we have to meet to look over again, or can we come in on our own and look over and sign off? We don't need to bring everybody together.
Well, I
you
mean,
know?
I would say if everyone looks them over and all members of the commission are satisfied, then as
Yeah.
long as we
I agree with that.
indicate that the next time they do
Yeah.
meet publicly,
Yes.
I think we should be fine.
Okay.
I do think that would be appropriate, especially because Ms. Belong was not able to
Right.
be here today, and she
Oh.
is planning to come in on her own time and
We're all here on our
review the
time
ones that you
together.
guys have already reviewed. Yeah. So,
Okay, I don't think that we really have anything else unless you have any further questions
Or comments.
or comments.
There are no members of the public here, and there are no members of the press here, so I think we should,
Good.
one of you make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and we will be back in touch.
Okay.